Hi, I'm James Harbeck. For today's pronunciation tip, I'm going to be doing artists from the Albright-Knox Gallery in Buffalo. Now, the Albright-Knox Gallery is an excellent modern art gallery that I think a lot of people haven't actually heard of because it's in Buffalo. I have been blessed with the opportunity to visit it on various occasions because my dad's whole side of the family is from Buffalo. And if you're ever visiting Niagara Falls, do a side trip. But here's the thing. I have this book. It's 125 masterpieces from the collection of the Albright-Knox Art Gallery, and I'm going to use that as my guide. This book was published in 1987, I think, on the commemoration of the 125th anniversary of the gallery, which changed its name about 25 years earlier. But a lot of these artists are American, and I'm not going to waste your time going through 125 artists when half of them are names that you really have no difficulty with. Jackson Pollock, come on, everybody knows it. So I'm only going to focus on the ones that aren't English-speaking names. But here's another thing. My pronunciation tips are intended for English speakers who want to get as close as they reasonably can in English conversation, English context, with their English speaker accents to the original pronunciation. I'm perfectly aware that it's not reasonable to switch like that into the phonology of another language while you're in an English conversation. And what's more, many people who are English speakers, however articulate and fluent they may be in English, might have difficulty with the phonology of other languages. So they're not just going to go to Wikipedia and look up the pronunciation and be like, oh, that's fine. I've got it. No problem. That's why I'm here. Also, I like to give a little bit of education. People who just want the pronunciation and get impatient with me for not giving it right away, you too could go to Wikipedia, you know. And if you can't understand the IPA, be my guest and learn a little thing. But here's another thing. There are many people, well, some, we'll see how many, who believe and have in some cases insisted in comments on my videos that they only ever pronounce names in the original, the artist's original language pronunciation. Anything else? Disrespectful, disgraceful. Now I'm a little skeptical as to whether they really do that. But that gives me a cue here. Instead of giving you the original pronunciation and an English approximation, I'll give you how it sounds in the original and how it's spelled, and you can decide how you want to say it. I mean, heck, I can tell you for a fact that art history professors in general are not the best sources for pronunciation. If they muff it, I mean, okay, you could too, I guess. But here's your information. Right, I'm just going to skip past the early ones. Edward Hicks, everybody knows. Albert Bierstadt, well, he was American. He was born in Germany, but he was American. You can say Albert Bierstadt. Okay. Honoré-Victorin Daumier. Gustave Courbet. Alfred Sisley. Well, he was French, but he was born of an English family, you see. So in France, he would be Alfred Sisley, but he was Alfred Sisley. What can I say? Jean-François Millet. Not Millet. This one throws me off too sometimes. Nope, it's Millet. Camille Pissaro. Claude Monet. You probably got that one. Pierre-Auguste Renoir. Jacques-Joseph Tissot, who was a bit of an Anglophile and went by James Tissot. Edgar Degas. This is important. It's not Degas. It's Degas. His father spelled it D-E space G-A-S. He closed it up but it's Degas. Vincent van Gogh. I might have done a video about this. Paul Gauguin. Georges Seurat. Paul Cézanne. Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec. Henri Matisse. I promise you they're not all French. Édouard Vuillard. Raoul Dufy. Pablo Picasso. You probably know how to say his name, right? Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso. André Derain. Henri Rousseau. Ernst Ludwig Kirchner, the German. Wilhelm Lehmbruck. Max Weber. Well, he was American and born in Russia, but it's a German name. So, I mean, take your pick. Giacomo Balla. An Italian. Giacomo Balla. Fernand Léger. Jean Metzinger. Again, not Metzinger, because he was French. Metzinger. Francis Picabia. This guy's fun because he was born Maurice of no known father, and then a fellow named Miguel Utrillo, who was Spanish, gave him his name. So he has a French first name and a Spanish last name, Maurice Utrillo. Robert Delaunay. Albert Glaise. Vasily Kandinsky was born in Russia, and then he moved to Germany where he was Vasily Kandinsky, and then he moved to France, and he became Vasily Kandinsky, or however you want to say. I don't even care. Look at the art. It's wonderful. Franz Marc. Giorgio de Chirico. Amedeo Modigliani. Some of you saw a movie one time and want to call him Modi. Well, you're just being cute. Modigliani. Constantin Brincucci. That's right. He's Romanian. That looks like it should be a Brancusi, right? No. Brincucci. František Kupka. French but born in Bohemia, Czechia. Juan Gris. He was actually born José González, but he went by Juan Gris. Moholy-Nagy László. Yes, Hungarian names put the family name first when you're in Hungary. When you're outside of Hungary, it's normal to put the individual name first or the family name last. But if you care about what he was called when he was born, Moholy-Nagy László. Joan Miró. He was Catalonian, so Joan. Marc Chagall, again, he was born in Russia, Moïse Chagall. And then he ended up in France, Marc Chagall. Max Ernst. Oskar Kokoschka. Got you there, didn't I? It looks like it's Kokoschka. Wouldn't it be Kokoschka? It's because he has a Czech name, Kokoška. Chaim Soutin. René Magritte. Julio González. I suppose if you're in Latin America, you'd say it Julio González, but he's from Spain, so Julio González. Alberto Giacometti. Not Giacometti, Giacometti. Pau Klee. Salvador Dalí. Salvador Dalí. There was an accent on that I. Here's an American artist, Yasuo Kuniyoshi, who was born in Japan as Kuniyoshi Yasuo. Because in Japan, family name comes first. Rufino Tamayo. Pete Mondrian. He was born Pete Mondrian, but then he became Pete Mondrian because he got rid of one of the A's in his last name. Yves Tanguy. Arshil Gorky. This guy was born Vozdaning Adoyan in Armenia, but he took on a completely different name, Arshil Gorky. There it is. Max Beckmann. Auguste Herbin. By the way, some people would say Herbin, some people would say Herbin. This is depending on what part of France your pronunciation is from. It does vary. Hans Hofmann. Hans Hofmann when he's in the US. Willem de Koning. So, Markus Rotkowitz became Mark Rothko. There you go. Naum Gabo. He was actually born Naum Pievsner in Russia, but he took the name Gabo. Jean Arp. Lucas Samaras. That's how he was called when he was born in Greece. So, here's a guy who lived in France as Victor Vasarely, but he was born in Hungary as Vásárhely Győző. Antoni Tapies. Jean Dubuffet. And finally, Francesco Clemente. And that's that. I hope you love modern art, and I hope you love phonology. And if you don't love either, I hope you spend the next several minutes of your life more productively than you spent this.